Happy Sunday, guys. Just want to show you some of the things I'm working on. Somebody already beat me to this, but this firewall, to remove it, you don't have to remove the windshield. These engineers are always, it's amazing what they improve on. The X2, X4, you had to remove the windshield to get this firewall off. And they've made it to where you can remove it without removing the windshield. So there's 2, 4, 6, 9 bolts that you have to remove, and then you can access all your electrical connectors, anything else under there you want to get at. Somebody was complaining that they were getting air in through the passenger grab handle. So to fix that, you can see in there, goes all the way through. I put a piece of foam in there. It'll block off some air. And if you want to get overzealous, you can get a balloon or a Ziploc bag, and just put it over this opening and then take a rubber band around it, and that should seal it off the rest of the way. Going on with sealing off the cab, you have these open areas here. I just took some pool noodles and went around. Sorry about the sun blocking. And then here you have high pressure from the wheel well. I just took some extra foam. Let me take it out here. It's like 3x6. I cut notches in it. Stuff it in the jam. And then when you close the door, it'll block off this upper area here. This instrument panel cover, if you want to take it off to mount something like my cell phone holder, there's a single bolt here, and then there's tabs that just rotates like that, so you don't break those tabs off. Just rotates forward, and then you can mount something to it. This somebody complained about air coming in here. I mean, there's a little bit of air, but it's really much improved over the X2 and X4. It's very minimal. But if you want to get over that, block it even more, go to the front here and make a block off thing. But really, I don't think it's that bad. Drain plugs. Take your drain plugs, get a hole punch, a paper punch, and punch holes in it. Don't use a drill bit because the drill bit won't cut it right. You need a hole punch, a paper hole punch, and squeeze the hole punch with a pair of pliers. If you just use the handles that are built in, you'll break your punch because it's too much leverage. People, a lot of us are viewers, we kind of ignored this. The storage under here is obviously a fraction of what it was on the X2 and X4, but you have all this storage underneath here. I mean, it's got to be I don't know, 2 or 3 cubic feet of storage here. Just make a box, stick it in there. The panel isn't too hard to come off. You stick it back on here. Once again, hard to do with one hand. You could leave. Let me get these screws out. So you could leave these push pins in, and there's a screw back here that you could leave out, and then there's 2 screws here, and then supposed to be 2 screws here, but mine never came with one there. But you could maybe get some hand screws. So these are easy to remove. And then this will flex enough to where you can just lift it up like that. So there's storage, hidden storage here. You don't have to do a whole lot of modding to get to it. I really can't believe the aftermarket hasn't made a storage accessory for this. Yamaha, they put the extra battery kit, subwoofer, other accessories in this spot. So that's probably why they don't do it, but I wish they would leave it up to the customer to decide, hey, I want the accessory or I want to utilize this for storage, but you can do it yourself. While we're still on air gaps, this rear door jamb, let me go to the other side. The light's probably better. There's an air gap here. I just took a piece of foam and stuck it in there, and that'll help prevent dust getting into the rear of the cab. All right. I think excuse me. The tunnel, the heat sound barrier in here, it stops about here. So there's improvements. It's as good, if not better, than my X2, X4 with all the Thermotech I installed. So I might just be lazy and not even mess with it because I haven't felt any heat off of here, and I got the full windshield. Some guys, before I go to the other, yesterday I compared the footwell width of the RMAX versus the X2, X4. Somebody made a comment either on my video or in the forums that the driver's side rear footwell is wider than the passenger rear, and they're correct. So thank you for pointing that out. You still have the extra 2 inches here, but the passenger footwell is 1 inch narrower than the driver rear footwell on both the X2 and X4. Somebody asked me to measure shoulder bolster to shoulder bolster, and the RMAX, I believe, is 1 inch less than the X2, X4. Speaking of the X4, I'm sure everyone's curious, and I pretty much already knew this, and so probably everyone else did. These XTR LE seats. They will fit in X2, X4. So those of you looking to upgrade your pre-2021 rides can retrofit these awesome seats. One thing I want to mention is these seat bottoms are a little more porous than the stock seats. So I would pull these out when you're washing your vehicle and or just let them sit in the sun so they dry out good. I suspect they're cooler in the summertime because they're more porous, but you're going to have a wet bottom if you wash your vehicle, wipe this off and think it's dry, because it's not going to be dry. It's going to be wet, and that really sucks when it's cold out. I think that's it. I said I was going to put the skid plates off of that onto this. I might do that tomorrow, but I have to get new tires installed on my X4, and those bead locks are a pain. So just some minor things. They did a really good job of sealing it up. There's just, if you're looking for absolute zero dust and you want to get every nook and cranny, those are the major ones I found. Right there, and right there, and there's a gap here as well, but it's not it's not high pressure like the wheel well opening. Okay, that's it for tonight's video. Sorry for the light from the sun setting. Have a good one. I don't know if I mentioned it, so I'm going to make note of it now. the CVT intake. Previous models, it used to Y from 1 into 2. It now has independent CVT tracks, CVT air intakes for both the primary and secondary. So that's another improvement Yamaha engineers made. This is probably the only other major thing, is you're going to get wet when it rains. The rain gutter on the front's doing a decent job, but up there, it's getting right into the door. I think somebody can make something real easy, a gutter that you could put up there that'll divert the water.